Hey guys, hope you're all staying well and keeping safe. In today's lesson, I'm going to be showing you three quick tips to help improve your groove as a drummer. Um, so with the first step is called something called hi-hat pulsing. Now with hi-hat pulsing, it kind of adds like more sort of it kind of adds some more variety to when you're hitting the hi-hat in a groove. So if I was to just hit the hi-hat normally, it's like this. Um, that's fine, but you're essentially, it just sounds the same pretty much, like most of the time. I mean, with what I'm going to show you, it's probably going to sound the same on an electric kit anyway. But basically, so the first step in like playing this is to so the first motion really is to sort of have like the shoulder of the stick is essentially just digging into the hi-hat like this. And while the hi-hat is at that position, we're essentially bringing our our wrist up essentially. So that's just gonna be what just so it goes from here, and then we're going up. And with this, it's important to remember it's not exactly like an exaggerated down up, but just a more like as I'm hitting the hi hat, it's just gonna be bringing it up like more gently. So down, up, down, up. Okay, so with the second step, it's something called ghost notes. Now, ghost notes are those like sort of quiet notes, like in the middle of a groove that you might have heard from drummers, but like they're not. They're really quiet that they might as well not be there. Um, so they're a lot lower in volume, uh, uh, and they're just there really to help make the groove like a lot more interesting, basically. So if I take a simple groove, for example, you'll notice that the hits on the hi hat are pretty much the same. What I'm aiming to do with ghost notes is to keep those accented notes on the 2 and the 4 the same. So it'll just sound like the snare will sound the same, like just like that on the 2 and the 4. But for the other snare notes that I was playing, they're going to be played a lot more quieter. So I'll show you a quick example. That's essentially what the ghost notes are really. So for the third tip, it's a little something called hi-hat clenching. Now with hi-hat clenching, it's sort of to do with accenting basically, and again it's the main. I believe one of the main reasons is like just to add, just to change up the groove a little bit. To just all these tips are just to make the groove a lot better and more interesting, really. But with hi-hat clenching, it's to do with accents really, and there are essentially two ways of doing this. So the first one would really kind of be to do with like hitting the hi-hat whilst you're about to open it with the hi-hat pedal. So I'll show you a quick example. So if I'm going to hit the hi-hat, I have to make sure that the pedal, the pedal that which controls the hi-hat is just open. So, and then you may have noticed then that that the next step is to immediately to close the pedal once it's been after I've hit it. So if hopefully it makes sense. So if I sorry. like that, really. So, I'll try and put it in a groove, and hopefully you'll be able to understand what I mean. Now, the second way of doing this is kind of doing it when... So, sorry, the accent will take place... when we do this the second time... For a second way of doing this, really, is placing the accent on the hi-hat pedal when we're closing it. So it should sound sort of like... So I'm essentially hitting it. And I'll be honest, I don't know too much about it, but as I'm hitting it, a lot of the emphasis is going on closing the hi-hat pedal. So sort of like that, really. And I'll show you what that looks like in a groove. So yeah, there were just 3 quick tips for you guys. I hope that made sense. If you do have any questions in the comments, leave a comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, guys.